कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकि कोकिलम्। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताया पतये नमः। जयत्याश्रितसन्त्रास ध्वान्तविध्वंसनोदयः प्रभावान् सीतया देव्या परमव्योमभास्करः परमव्योमभास्करः।
श्रीमते निगमान्त महादेशिकाय नमः। What a praise it was! Tara, who had just lost her husband, Vali, to Rama, comes to the battlefield in order to curse, in order to abuse Rama. But as said before, Shatru prakhyata viryasya ranjaniyasya vikramayhi. The greatness of Rama was that he was praised probably even with better words by his opponents. Here we have Tara's stuti. She says, Tvam aprameyascha durasadascha jitendriyascha uttamadharmikascha akshaya kirtischa vichakshanascha kshitiksamavan क्षतजोपमाक्ष क्षितिक्षमावान् क्षतजोपमाक्ष. The one whose eyes are reddened like the red hue of the blood and the rubies towards the ends. Kshatajopamaksha. Hey Rama, Tvam aprameyaha. She starts praising. What is this praise intended at? Govindaraja, the famed commentator, and yet another Acharya called as Periya Vachad Pillai, who lived just after the times of Bhagavad Ramanuja, who was an exquisite commentator, also concurs. He says that this shloka, this verse uttered by Tara, clearly defines paramatma, paratattva nirnayam, clearly says what are the characteristics of paramatma. How did she realize that the Rama who is standing in front of her with a bow or quiver of arrows in a hermit dress is the paramatma? Because she has listened and read many works which talk about the characteristics of paramatma. So, linking those vakyams, she was able to decipher. What are the vakyams that probably our acharyas quote to determine paramatma? 1. Alodhya sarvashastrani vicharyascha punah punaha idam yekam sunishpannam dheyo narayanas sada. 1. Second. Vedat Shastram Param Nasti Na Daivam Keshavat Param. There is no greater scripture or pramanam than Vedam. Vedat Shastram Param Na Asti, which is Param Nasti. Like how Na Daivam Keshavat Param. There is no other God greater than Keshava, says this Vakyam. Nasti Narayana Samo Devaha Na Bhuto Na Bhavishyati, says Harivamsha. There is, was and will be no other deity at par with Narayana. On a very broader note, some of you may assume, sir, when you say that there is no other, aren't you agreeing or concurring with the tenet of some other Western religion that may also say that there is no God, but there is no God, but this. You may ask, every religion has the right to profess its tenets and say its God is the greatest. But the problem comes only when it starts killing the others for disagreeing with its views. So, Sanatana Dharma doesn't disagree with the views, or probably even if it disagrees with the views of the Western religions, it doesn't believe in killing, because it believes that everybody has the right to express and believe. This is my belief. That is your belief. Your belief is to your revival. My belief is to my revival. I will not insist that you should also follow what I have said. So, I hope you all understand the subtle difference. That's it. So, these are the vakyams which determine the paramatma and its characteristic features. So, Tara was very well aware of these characteristics. That is why the moment she saw Rama as an outburst, such qualities come into a beautiful verse. First, she says, Aprameyaha and Durasadascha. One, she says that your glory is infinite. And second, she says the one whose glory is infinite is tough to be attained. Is she concurring with the rishis who have spoken so in the Vedas and the Vedanta? How does she know that he is the one who is the Paratattva or Paramatma? While she uses the word Vichakshanaha, the one whose eyes are reddened, she is actually reminded of the tips of the lotus petals, because the Lord's eyes resemble the petals of a newly blossomed lotus. Ramaha Kamala Patrakshaha Yatha Kapyasam Pundarikameва Makshini, says Chandogya Upanishad. So with all this, she concurs that whom she is seeing in front is actually Paramatma incarnate as Rama. Next, recognizing his bodily marks, she concurs that this descendant in the Kakutstha Vamsham is none but Paramatma. Susamvrittam Parthiva Lakshanaischa Tam Charunetram Mrigashabanetra Adrishta Purve Purusham Pradhanam Ayam Saka Kutstha Iti Prajajne. Next, she also proves the Vedic statements and the later beliefs. One belief which comes in the Yaksha Prashtam, which is a conversation between Yaksha and Yudhishthira, is Tarko Apratishtaha, Shrudayo Vibhinnaha. So, through Tarka, it is tough to establish. Shrudayo Vibhinnaha. So, there are a few Vedic statements which seem to us as if they are not in agreement with each other. No two rishis agree, like how we say no two lawyers or doctors agree. No two rishis agree. One rishi may, Apastamba may say a statement which Bodhayana may respectfully disagree. So what is the way ahead for primitive people like us? Mahajano yena gatissa panthaha. Whichever way our Purvacharyas have walked, that is the best path that we have to take. That said, Aprameyaha Durasadaha. Aprameyaha, the one whose glory is infinite, at the same time, the one who is tough to be attained. Durasadaha. So, these are the adjectives used for Rama. Next Tara goes into a very, very sensitive territory. She says, Jitendriyaha, the one who has won over his senses. What does that mean? See, she is used to seeing or hearing about people who have not given much or attached much significance to character. Ahalyayai jaraha surapatirabhuta matanayam prajanatho yasida bhajata gurur indurabalam, says the dramatist in a very famous work called as Prabodha Chandrodayam. In Prabodha Chandrodayam, Krishna Mishra says, Ahalyayai jaraha surapatirabhutatma tanayam. Now, there are a few accusations against some of the deities which have been mentioned in our Puranas. One, Indra. Indra is a position, and people who have performed 100 Ashwamedha Yagas become the next Indra. They attain that post. So one person who had attained the post of Indra, the Indra Padavi, he had misbehaved and rather molested Ahalya. So Ahalya was the wife of a great saint called as Gautama. Gautama Rishi Patni is Ahalya. Despite knowing that she is the wife of Gautama, Indra came in the disguise of Gautama and forced himself on her. So this is the character of Indra. Ahalyayai jaraha surapatira bhoot atmatanayam. At the same time, one of the Puranas also states in the creation, Brahma ended up marrying his own creation, which is Saraswati, which is not a great relationship to be attained. So, somebody who has arisen out of you and later is marrying, not agreeable. So, this dramatist says, Abhuda Atmatanaya Prajanatho Yasida Bhajada Gurur Indurabalam. Next, we have Chandra, who was very resplendent on a full moon day. He went and had a relationship with his teacher's wife. So, Indra had a relationship with Gautama Patni. Brahma had a relationship with his own creation, and Chandra had a relationship with his teacher's wife. Now comes Tara says, what about my husband and my brother-in-law? My husband, Vali, forced himself on his brother's wife, who is Rama. And what is going to happen in the future? Because we know the future, we can always say. The same Sugriva is going to end up marrying Tara, his sister-in-law. So, Vali is having a relationship with his brother's wife, Sugriva's wife, Rama. Sugriva is going to remarry his brother's wife, Tara. Chandra had a relationship with his teacher's wife. Indra had a relationship with Gautama Patni. Brahma had a relationship with his very own creation. Surrounded by famous people who have not been famous, rather being notorious in such acts. Rama, where are you? You lost your wife, you lost your kingdom, and here you're in Kishkindha fighting for somebody else's wife and somebody else's kingdom. So you have won over your senses, Rama, Jitendriya, he says. Next, Uttama Dharmikaha. Uttama Dharmikaha. Dharmikaha means the one who adheres to Dharma. What is Uttama Dharmikaha? There are two ways of deriving, says the commentator. One, there are three categories of people. Adhama Dharmikaha. So, a person who does good only to himself and does bad for others. He is a Adhama Dharmikaha. Very low class Dharmika. The middle class Dharmika is the one who does good for himself and for others. The Uttama Dharmikaha. From Madhyama Dharmika, we are going to Uttama Dharmika is the one, even if something bad happens to him, he accepts it, but he always ends up doing good for the other person. He is Uttama Dharmikaha. This is one way of deriving. He lost his kingdom. He lost his wife. Rama lost his kingdom. Rama lost his wife. Yet, he was here fighting for Sugriva, for the rightful administration of Kishkindha, and for Sugriva's wife, Rama. So, he is a Uttama Dharmikaha. The other way to derive the word Uttama Dharmikaha is Dharmikaha, Ut Dharmikaha, Uttara Dharmikaha, Uttama Dharmikaha. Tara is comparative, Tama is superlative. Dharmikaha, Ut Dharmikaha, Uttara Dharmikaha, Uttama Dharmikaha. He is not the normal Dharmika. You cannot compare him with anybody else. He is the best, Uttama Dharmikaha. So why is he Uttama Dharmikaha? When he killed Vali, he was in one way saving Sugriva, because Sugriva had lost the kingdom. He would have been a better king. And he had lost his wife. So by killing Vali, he is restoring the kingdom in the right hands. He is restoring Sugriva's wife Rama in the right hands. That is one. Second, by killing Vali, he is reducing the time of crime committed by Vali. Vali had done this grievous crime, heinous crime of abducting his brother's wife. See, if I have stolen something from someone, I should immediately go and report it. If I report it immediately, then the person will say, okay, you have reported immediately, which shows a change in your mind. This is your punishment. Imagine I have stolen something from someone and for 10 years I am not reporting. So I will get punishment for stealing as well as for hiding the fact. Vali had abducted his brother's wife. Immediately Rama gave a punishment, thereby reducing the time of his crime. So he is a Uttama Dharmikaha. So these are the ways it is derived. So Tvam Aprameyascha, Durasadascha, Jitendriyascha, Uttama Dharmikascha. 4 gunas are described. What are the other 4? In the next episode.
Dear Astika reader, I am happy to be authoring a 2-part book on the Ramayana in English. The first part is slated for release in the year 2024. The book aims to recreate and retell the Ramayana of Valmiki, conforming to the ancient commentaries and other allied literature. To receive notifications of the book release, kindly register with www.deshikadaya.org/books. Namaskaram.